Good afternoon and welcome to News 9. I'm Nolan Pinto. Now, a shocking story has unfolded in the city where a girl was allegedly kidnapped, threatened and then sexually molested. Now, the victim had just returned after dinner with her friends and had stopped near her apartment in Frasertown. Now, she decided to sit in the car for a bit, chatting with a friend. It was then that a night of horror unfolded. 4 men who came in a car surrounded them and asked her to get out. Her friend then asked her to make a run for her residence, but she was unfortunately caught by the men and forced into the Honda City car along with her friend. Now, these people first demanded 50,000 rupees to set her free, but they had their eyes on the girl and then sexually molested her in the car. Later, at around 1:30, they took them to the railway track near Coxtown and threatened to kill her friend if she did not cooperate. The ordeal then went on for about 15 minutes, after which she and her friend were allowed to go. Now, she did tell her friends that she had seen the men or the man who attacked her previously in her area. Now, later the girl mustered up courage to file a police complaint at the Pulkeshi Nagar police station on Sunday morning. As of now, the police have registered a case under IPC sections 341, 384, 34, 323 and 354. Well, for more on this, I'm joined in by my colleague Deepak Bopana, who is in Frasertown. Now, Deepak, what more can you tell us about this very dastardly case?
Nolan, to tell you exactly what happened, now I'm standing right outside the apartment where the incident took place. Now, if you could notice a car standing there, this was pretty similar to how the incident took place. On a Thursday night at about 11:30, that was when the victim along with her friend were actually standing in front of the apartment in a car similar to this, Nolan. So this was when they noticed this Skoda Fabia, which we already spoke about, the Skoda Fabia which was roaming around on this same street. So after about 2-3 times after they went past this car, they noticed these two sitting, and this was when they actually came and parked their car right in front of a car which was parked like this. So this is exactly where the incident took place, Nolan. So immediately once they got in front of the car, the 4 people who were inside, they've got down, they've asked the girl to get down. So suspecting that something wrong must be happening, the friend of the victim immediately informed her to actually make a run to the gate. As you see, that's the particular gate there. She actually tried to make a run to the gate. We are not aware if the security guard sits right at the entrance where he could see the entire scenario, but he has not seen what has happened exactly that time. So immediately she was pulled back into the car. She was made to sit inside. Then the 3 people, actually one person started driving the Skoda Fabia right behind this car. They were actually traveling in a Honda City. So 3 of them got inside this car, Nolan, while one of them was driving. 2 of them actually sat behind along with the victim and the accused. So this is where they they started threatening them, that they often see them hanging out here late at night, and they've come here to actually speak to them regarding this. And after this began the demands for money, Nolan. They actually told them that they are policemen who are in civil uniform, and they demanded some money. When the victim and her friend said that we do not have the amount of money that you're demanding, we would be able to provide that only after we head home. This is when they said instead of that, they started demanding for sexual favors. They've then driven the car towards the Coxtown railway station. There at the railway station again, the 2 of them have got down. They've taken the friend out of the car. They've threatened him at knife point to make sure that he does not create any kind of noise, so that it would alert the people around, and then again sexually harass the girl in the car, Nolan. So all this took place. The entire incident happened from about 11:30 till about 12:30, about an hour. Then finally she was dropped back here at the apartment, and the victim, Nolan, was in no condition to actually approach the police or even tell her parents about what happened that night. She actually went back home, could not do anything. So but they managed to note down the car number of the Skoda, which has been taken into custody. So this, after 2 days, was found outside a bakery on Mosque Road. popular bakery where people hang out. That's where it was found, the Skoda Fabia. So finally, after getting hold of it, her friends, about a couple of them, have managed to, they waited for whoever the owner of the car is to actually identify if he was the person who actually was a part of the entire incident that night. Finally, when they got to know it was him, they've got hold of him, called the police, who then came there and finally managed to take him into custody. Now, this person's name, Nasir Haider. Now, he has been taken into custody along with the car. Now, while interrogating him, the police have also got a tip-off regarding who the other three people were. Now, as I spoke to you earlier, I told you that the DCP has handed over the entire investigation to the ACP. Now, he has also spoken about the lapse. While the FIR was given on Sunday after this particular person, Nasir Haider, was nabbed, after the car was taken into custody, that is when the victim along with her friend came here and registered an FIR. But in the FIR, they had failed to mention that it was a case of rape. Now, the DCP has mentioned that any other now, according to the new amendments made to Section 375 rape, now if all the other actions which amount to rape are also being mentioned in those amendments, so what happened that night can also be considered rape. Now, the police should be aware of this, Nolan, but they clearly did not follow the strict principles given by these amendments. They have not registered it as a case of kidnap or either rape. So finally, now the DCP said that it would be taken as a case of rape and kidnap, and investigations will go on. Now, a team of 3 policemen headed by 3 inspectors. Now, of course, the entire investigation has been handed over to the ACP. Now, he will have 3 inspectors under him, now, who have already gone to these 3 houses. They've already are in a search for these 3 other missing people. Now, but when they went and inquired at their homes, the 3 people, the other 3 accused, are not at home. They're currently absconding. The police are on the lookout for them. Now, another shocking incident that you notice here is that the Skoda Fabia, which has been taken into custody, other than the front window, everything is completely tinted. So even if people notice these men walking around, going around these areas, you wouldn't recognize who it was sitting inside these cars, because about 80% of the car windows are tinted, Nolan, so making it really hard for anybody to even notice who these people were. But now the ACP and the 3 inspectors are at task to actually manage, to actually make sure that they go on to nab the other 3 accused in this case, Nolan.
Now, Deepak, I want to know what your sources are telling you about the type of action that will be taken against the inspector and the sub-inspector who did not want the girl in the complaint to mention kidnap and rape.
There are no reports of any such incident as per the DCP, at least, Nolan. He said that they have failed to mention aspects which should have been considered. That's how the DCP put it across. He did not mention of any fact that the inspector failed to take the complaint. However, he said that the victim was really hesitant on giving the complaint. She was not willing to do so. Of course, it is understood now, a person who has gone through such a traumatizing experience, she was not in a condition, of course, on that night to come and explain. Again, when she came yesterday, it was only when this person and the car were taken into custody, that's when they came and explained the entire scenario. But the DCP never made the mention about the fact that the inspector failed to do it. He said that it has not been considered. Now, the ACP will look into the matter. Now, he has demanded that a report be given to him by today evening, Nolan. So, with that report, he will also be speaking about the fact of why sections of rape and kidnap were not mentioned in the FIR, and any other discrepancies or lapses on the part of the police will be taken up by the ACP, who will be giving answers to this to the DCP by today evening, Nolan.
Now, not being considered is what you said that the DCP told you. Don't you think that's a rather very diplomatic way of putting it in order to save the inspector and the sub-inspector?
Of course, Nolan, they will try to defend their subordinates or their juniors, but in this case, it's good to see that the DCP has at least made a move to make sure the case is now handed over to the ACP, and he will be taking over the investigations, and he has demanded that a report at any cost be given on the lapses which have occurred on the part of the police. So that's the only update as of now. He of course is not completely aware of what the entire incident happened. Speaking to the inspector as well, when we spoke to him, he mentioned to us that the victim was not in a condition where she was openly speaking about what happened, so they could not figure the entire thing out, and they could not take the complaint based on sections of rape or kidnap. So on the part of the inspector, he's saying that he could not take it up like that because the victim was not could not explain herself very clearly. So there was a communication gap there, and various other reasons. But Nolan, of course, a major lapse on the side of the police, not taking up such a serious case under sections of rape and kidnap.
Now, Deepak, finally, what more do we know about this girl, the victim, and what's her condition now?
Nolan, her condition as of now is stable. Of course, she's still not over the entire incident. She's a student who studies in Bangalore, but she resides, she's a Bangalorean, so she resides here in Bangalore itself. So she had come down here, so she had caught up with a couple of friends that night where they'd all gone for dinner because she does not stay in Bangalore. She's been studying in Bangalore for her post-graduation, so she had just come down. So that was a night where they were all celebrating the fact that she was back here meeting old friends. So it was quite a nice experience for all of them, I suppose, Nolan, but which ended up in such a tragic note. This was when she had to go back home, that her friend tried to come here and actually drop her off at a place when the entire incident unfolded, Nolan.
Right, Deepak, thank you very much for all those details. In fact, my colleague Deepak over there, right in Frasertown, where the incident took place, he just showed you where the car was parked, where their car was parked, and how these thugs, or the accused and his 3 other friends came over there, how they parked their car, stopped them, got out, made the girl actually get into the car, basically took over or commandeered that particular car. And that's when the horror unfolded near the Coxtown railway track. Well, in fact, we now slip into a short break. On the other side, we will continue to track all these developments and much more.